We hide the things about ourselves that we deem unacceptable to society. But I say we take a closer look.
I think the biggest thing, um, now I'm not trying to hate on MGTOWs or anything like that. I just using this as like a reference point to get a point across. But the biggest cope with red pill and MGTOW philosophies is there is a presumption of free will. You do not have free will. Free will is a bullshit cope. Free if you like really break down everything to its simplest fundamental form of like everything the point I'm trying to get across in my videos that I'm not seeing anybody touch on or talk about is this is the idea of free will. I'm trying to tell you you do not have free will and you've never made a decision in your life. You are completely powerless over what happens to you. And I've touched on this in other videos. You don't even make the decision to be born in the first place. And once you're here, you're controlled by biological instincts that you do not have the power to turn off. People are in denial of their own lack of free will. You're not in control. You're not God. You didn't create this world. You don't create the rules. You're not in charge here. Neither am I. But my only purpose for the reason I make these videos is because I'm just trying to cope through this bullshit just like everyone else. But I need genuine copes. I don't want to hear rants and bullshit from people that are in denial that they have free will. Like, the black pill is true, dude. Like, if you're an ugly man, life is harder for you than if you're a good looking man. And you don't choose which one you are. Now, you can argue, oh, you can looks max and all that shit. But it's just like, yeah, but only to a certain extent. Like, you can't control your height. You can't control your race. You can't control your genetics. You don't have any free will. And then when it comes to, like, life choices and stuff, you don't choose your own IQ. You don't choose your own intelligence level. You don't choose the class you're born into. So when it comes to these quote-unquote choices, those aren't choices. It's literally you're just playing the hand you're dealt because you have no other option. You're not choosing to play the hand you're dealt. You don't have a choice. There is no escaping the matrix. This is the hand we're dealt. So when you say you're going your own way, you're not. You're not in control here. You're not making a decision. You're living through a situation that's happening. That's it. You don't have a say. Stoicism's cope, dude. You don't have control over anything. You literally have zero control over anything. And that's what drives me up the wall with all humans. That's why I don't fuck with people, because they're not living in fucking reality. You don't have control. You're not in charge. All the decisions that you think you're making, it's literally just you reacting based off of circumstances that you had no control of. Everything you've ever done wasn't a choice. It was literally it just happened. Everything is just happening. Like I'm not even trying to sound like a cliche philosophical thing like all in all or just dust in the wind. That's fucking true, dude. Like dust in the wind, it, it's being blown around, flying through the air. It looks like it's flying and choosing what it's doing. It looks like it's alive, but it's just the wind blowing it. And that's what we are. We don't have we're you don't make choices. You're just influenced. It's like you reach a fork in the road. You see on one end of the road it drops off into a cliff, and then the other road just keeps going. You're obviously going to go down the road that keeps going if you're mentally stable. And your mental stability isn't in your control. So you're just going to keep walking based off of instincts. Now, if you're mentally unstable, you're going to jump off the cliff because of your mental state that is outside of your control. And that's everything that everyone does every day. There's no choices being made. You're just being influenced by instincts and circumstances that are all out of your control. And to say anything else other than that is cope. That's why almost the manosphere as a whole is just a waste of time. Now, don't get me wrong, I enjoy the content, but that's just because it's cope for me. Like, it's literally it. I know it's all bullshit. I know nobody has a solution. I know that things aren't going to get better. And I listen to it for cope because some of the guys make good points, but that's pretty much it, dude. Like, if you want, like, I know a lot of people in the manosphere, they want to help men not commit suicide. Well, I think one way to do that is to stop pretending like we're not all coping. Like, that's all we're doing. Because if your life is shit and you come to the manosphere to get cope, but you can't get the cope you want because everyone's pretending like they're not coping and they're pretending like they have some sort of control that they don't have. It's really annoying. Like, I'm not going to kill myself, but what if somebody who's less stable than me comes here for similar reasons, realizes that it's all just a bunch of dudes LARPing on the internet, and like that's the only support system they have? That would make me want to kill myself more. Like, and I'm just saying this, I'm just saying this for, like, for me, ultimately, it doesn't really matter. Like, I don't need the manosphere. I do get a sense of cope out of it, but I get cope from, like, other shit better. Like, I don't really need the manosphere, so I don't really care. But I'm just saying, like, for some guys, like, that's their only option is coping with manosphere videos. I've been there before, but, you know, it's the lack of acknowledging the powerlessness. Like, if you're a man watching this and you've taken the red pill or the black pill, there is no solution. This isn't the Matrix movie where you can just unplug from the Matrix and shit. Like, you're stuck in it. There's no way out. And going to the gym, getting your money up, when you do that shit, all you're doing is feeding into a system and working for a system that isn't working for you. There's literally nothing you can do that doesn't benefit the system in some way. They've made it to where you have nowhere to go. There is no option. It's almost like you all really are better off blue-pilled. Because this isn't like the movies where there's a way out and there's a chosen one sent here to defeat the agents. I mean, if you're a Christian, technically God and Jesus are. But I mean, you could say that's a cope in itself too, but you know what I'm saying? if there is, I mean, I guess basically, if Jesus and all that stuff ain't real and there isn't actually a chosen one, then yeah, you should kill yourself because there's no point in being here. So it literally comes down to like, do you want to believe in God or do you want to pretend like you're God and have a say in this shit? You know, that's really what it, like that's what gets me with all this manosphere shit. It's like, yeah, you can acknowledge the problem and have good talking points, good red pill talking points, but what does that matter? You being accurate on your description of how fucked up everything is doesn't solve the problem. And I've yet to see anyone come out of the manosphere with a solution. So if you're not just coming out the gate saying that you don't have a solution and you're not choosing what's happening, if you're not saying that, then to me, you're just full of shit coping, which I don't see anything wrong with coping, but it's the not cope denial. It's like denying that's what you're doing. That's what I think is wrong with all this shit. Like roasting PUAs and nerding out and shit like that. Like, yeah, I guess that's entertainment, but it's just like it's kind of like gay. You know what I mean? Like it's not doing anything. You're not going to stop cucks from being cucks. So if all you're doing is just trying to grow your YouTube channel to make yourself feel like you matter, like that's pathetic, dude. You might as well not even make content at that point because it's just another form of bullshit that's pointless. And people like that are no better than any other grifter. So it's just like I don't know, dude.